Here are 5 more stupid things I've noticed about Islam. It's moving backwards. There was once an Islamic golden age. Oh yes, and it was not an age of violence and religious intimidation. I mean, there was a lot of that, but it was also an age of knowledge and discovery. It was an age when Muslim scholars translated and preserved the writings of Aristotle and Euclid. It was an age of important advances in mathematics and science. It was an age where there was a blending of cultures from all across Europe and Africa and Asia. And this was no passing phase. This lasted for 500 years until it ended in the 13th century, which was kind of a while ago. And, you know, something tells me that Muslim radicals of today who talk about founding a new Islamic golden age don't want to build that on a foundation of science and education and multiculturalism. It's just a feeling I have. It punishes apostasy. The Quran doesn't define any specific punishment for those who reject their Muslim faith, but there are several passages in the Hadith which have been widely interpreted as imposing the death penalty on apostates. And many Islamic countries who claim to be upholding Islamic law impose severe punishments, including incarceration and execution for the crime of apostasy. You know, call me old-fashioned, call me culturally insensitive, if you must, but I think killing people for leaving your religion is just a smidge uncivilized, don't you? It's viciously anti-gay. Apostasy isn't the only death penalty offense. In many Muslim countries, homosexuality is a capital crime. And again, this seems to be an instance of the Muslim world moving in the wrong direction, because during that Islamic golden age I mentioned a few minutes ago, apparently the general attitude was much more tolerant of same-sex relationships than it is in the Muslim world today. In the 19th century, the Ottoman Empire even decriminalized homosexuality. And today, Turkey is one of only a handful of Muslim-majority nations where homosexuality is not illegal. In Iran alone, over 4,000 people have been executed for homosexual acts since the creation of the Islamic Republic in 1979. And when you think about that, it's really no wonder that a few years ago, Iranian President Mahmoud Ahmadinejad said that they don't have gay people in Iran. I guess he figures they got them all. It discourages assimilation of immigrants. The number of Muslims moving to Europe from traditionally Islamic countries has resulted in all sorts of tensions which have occasionally erupted into violence. And a lot of the source of that tension is the refusal of some conservative Muslims to integrate themselves into the larger societies that they're now a part of. And you know, immigrants congregating in communities is nothing new. I mean, to cite one of many possible examples, Hasidic Jews have been doing that for decades. But Hasidic Jews don't expect their religious laws to be afforded the same respect and authority as the civil laws of their countries. And Jews, by and large, don't respond to feeling disrespected or threatened by murdering people or throwing firebombs, at least not outside of Israel. Muslims, on the other hand, especially a small group of fundamentalist Muslims, seem to want to be able to move to another country and then just be left alone to govern themselves according to their own laws and customs, no matter how archaic or barbaric those laws and customs may be. And countries like France and the UK have been reluctant to do that. And I don't wonder why, because here's the thing about Islam as far as government is concerned. It lends itself readily to fascism. Let's go down the list, shall we? Iran, authoritarian regime. Saudi Arabia, authoritarian regime. Syria, authoritarian regime. Bahrain, Yemen, Oman, Jordan, United Arab Emirates, Kuwait, Algeria, all Muslim nations, all authoritarian regimes. Lots of critics of Islam like to describe regimes like these using the word Islamo-fascist, but I have a word that I like to use to describe them: fascist. I ended the previous 5 Stupid Things video about Islam by pointing out that ultimately it's not that different from Judaism or Christianity, and I would like to sound a similar note here at the end of this video. Yes, Islamic nations tend to be fascist. But that's because Islam itself is fascist, and in that way it's no different than Judaism or Christianity. All of the Abrahamic faiths celebrate authoritarianism. They all teach people to welcome domination. The only difference is that Judaism and Christianity have been neutered by secular civilization, and they no longer have the power to impose their authority over those who don't wish to be dominated, which I guess makes it 2 down and 1 to go. The hardest part is only picking 5. Catch you next time.